Let me tell y'all something. Hard times ain't here to break you, they here to make you. You ever notice how every successful person got a story, a struggle, a moment when they thought, man, I don't know if I can do this, but guess what? They kept going. See, life is going to test you. That dream you got, it ain't just going to show up at your doorstep wrapped in a pretty bow. Nah, it's going to come with rejection, with failures, with nights where you're staring at the ceiling thinking, is this even worth it? But hear me when I say this. If you quit now, you'll never know what was waiting for you on the other side. Hard times ain't here to break you, they here to make you. I know when life gets tough, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You start wondering, why me? You look around and see people winning, moving ahead, and you're stuck in the same place, struggling just to keep your head above water. It's frustrating, it's exhausting, and I know some days you feel like throwing in the towel. But let me ask you something. When has anything worth having ever come easy? Success, happiness, a better life? It all comes at a cost. See, hard times ain't punishment, they're preparation. The struggles you're facing today are building the strength you need for tomorrow. You might not see it now, but every tough moment is shaping you, molding you, getting you ready for something bigger. You ever heard of a diamond? You know how a diamond is made? Pressure. A whole lot of heat and pressure, but if you take that pressure away too soon, you don't get a diamond, you get nothing. That's how life works. If you walk away when things get tough, you never get to see what you were supposed to become. I know people who gave up too soon. They had dreams, they had talent, they had everything it took to win, but when life got hard, they quit. And now they live with regret. They wonder what could have been if they had just held on a little longer. See, you can't let a tough season make you think the whole story is over. What you're going through right now is just a chapter, not the whole book. I've been through some dark times myself, times when I didn't know if I could make it, times when I was so broke I couldn't see a way out, times when I prayed and it felt like nothing was changing. But let me tell you, just because you don't see a way doesn't mean there isn't one. Sometimes God is working behind the scenes, setting things up for you, but you got to go through the process first. You ever notice how people want the reward without the work? They want success without the struggle. But life don't work like that. Every single person who made it had to fight through something. You think Oprah didn't struggle? You think Tyler Perry didn't go through it? You think anybody you admired just had it handed to them? No. They went through their own battles, their own failures, their own disappointments. But they didn't let those moments define them. They kept pushing. Now, I need you to understand this. If life is testing you, it means you're about to go to the next level. You ever notice how before promotion, before breakthrough, things seem to get harder? That's because growth comes with resistance. You don't build muscle without lifting heavy weight. You don't get stronger without struggle. That's just how it works. And I get it. When you're in the middle of it, when life is throwing everything at you, it's hard to see past the pain. But let me tell you something. Your struggles are temporary, but quitting lasts forever. If you stop now, you'll never know what was waiting for you on the other side of this storm. You're stronger than you think. You've survived things before. Look back at your life. Think about the times you thought you weren't going to make it, but you did. Think about the moments you wanted to quit, but you found a way to keep going. That same strength, that same power, it's still in you. So hear me when I say this. This ain't the end for you. This is just a test. And if you keep pushing, keep believing, and keep fighting, you will come out stronger. Because if you just keep going, you're going to win. You ever look at successful people and think, man, they must have had it easy? Like they just woke up one day and everything fell into place. That's what it looks like from the outside, doesn't it? You see the cars, the houses, the businesses, the fame, but what you don't see is the struggle they went through to get there. See, every successful person has faced a moment when they thought, I don't know if I can do this. Every single one of them has had days when nothing was working, when the odds were stacked against them, when they wanted to give up. But you know what separates them from everybody else? They kept pushing. See, success ain't about luck. It's about persistence. It's about showing up even when you feel like quitting. It's about understanding that failure is just part of the journey. I don't care who you are. If you got a dream, life is going to test you. It's going to throw obstacles in your way just to see how bad you really want it. You ever hear stories of people who went from nothing to something? Let me tell you, that didn't happen overnight. Tyler Perry was homeless, sleeping in his car. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was fired because they said he lacked creativity. You mean to tell me these people weren't good enough? No. The truth is, life just put them through some things to see if they were willing to fight for it. And that's the part most people don't want to hear. They want the success, but they don't want the struggle. They want the reward, but they don't want to put in the work. Let me tell you something. You can't have one without the other. You don't get to the top of the mountain without climbing. You don't get strong without lifting something heavy. You don't grow without going through something. So if you're struggling right now, if you're facing obstacles, if you're questioning whether you can keep going, congratulations. That means you're on the right track. That means you're in the process of becoming something greater. That means life sees potential in you and is making sure you're ready for the blessings coming your way. See, the reason most people fail isn't because they aren't talented. It's not because they aren't smart enough or good enough. It's because they gave up too soon. They let a setback convince them to stop. They let a failure convince them they weren't meant for more. But let me tell you something. The only way you lose is if you quit, if you keep going, if you keep learning, if you keep adjusting. There is no way you don't win in the end. Now, I get it. It's hard. Some days it feels like life is just hitting you from every direction. You're tired. You're frustrated. You're doing everything right, and it still ain't working. But that's exactly when you need to dig deeper. Because what if you're just one step away? What if the opportunity you've been waiting for is right around the corner and you walk away too soon? You see, most people quit when it gets hard, but the winners understand that struggle is just part of the process. The winners know that every setback is just setting them up for a comeback. The winners push through even when they don't feel like it, even when it doesn't make sense, even when they can't see the finish line. And that's what I need you to do. I need you to stop looking at successful people like they had it easy and start realizing that they just refused to quit. They went through exactly what you're going through. They had people doubt them. They had moments of failure. They had days when they felt like giving up, but they didn't. And because they didn't, they made it. So I need you to keep pushing. I need you to understand that what you're going through right now is not the end of your story. This is just a test. This is just life making sure you're ready for what's next. And if you just hold on, if you just keep moving forward, if you just refuse to quit, you're gonna win. You ever wonder why life puts you through so much? Why every time you take one step forward, something comes along to push you 2 steps back? Why it feels like the harder you try, the tougher things get? Let me tell you something. Pressure ain't meant to destroy you. It's meant to create something in you. See, diamonds don't come out the ground shining. They start as rocks, plain, rough, nothing special, but you put that rock under extreme pressure, apply some heat, and over time it turns into something valuable, something rare, something people admire. That same process is happening in your life right now. I know it don't feel good. I know you're tired. I know there are days when you ask yourself, why does it have to be this hard? But let me ask you this. What if this pressure is the very thing that's shaping you into the person you were meant to be? What if the struggles you're facing right now are molding you, strengthening you, preparing you for what's next? See, you can't get the blessing without going through the process. And the process, it's not easy. It's painful. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. You ever see people who get things too easy, who never had to struggle for what they got? 9 times out of 10, they don't appreciate it. They don't hold on to it. You know why? Because they weren't built for it. They didn't go through the fire. They didn't develop the strength to maintain it. But when you earn something, when you fight for it, when you go through hell and back to get it, you value it differently. You protect it, you respect it. That's why you can't be mad when life applies pressure to you. It's not here to break you. It's here to make you. It's turning you into something greater. It's giving you the wisdom, the patience, the resilience you're going to need when you get to the top. Because let me tell you, success ain't just about getting there. It's about staying there. And if you ain't built for it, you won't last. See, most people fold under pressure. They let the struggle make them bitter instead of better. They start believing that because it's hard, it must not be meant for them. But that ain't true. Hard times don't mean stop. They mean push harder. They mean you're on the edge of something great. They mean life is testing you to see if you really want it. And let me tell you, the people who make it, they're not always the smartest. They're not always the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to quit. Now, I know what you're thinking, but you don't know what I'm dealing with. You're right, I don't. But I do know this. You've survived everything life has thrown at you so far. You've been through storms before. You've faced challenges before, and you're still here. That means you're stronger than you think. That means you've got more fight in you than you realize. So don't let this pressure break you. Don't let this moment convince you that you're not built for success, because you are. And when you come out on the other side of this, you're going to be stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. Because if you just keep going, you're going to win. You ever stop and wonder how close you actually are? How many people gave up right before their breakthrough? How many dreams got left behind because somebody let frustration talk them out of it? Let me tell you something. Quitting now means you'll never see what's on the other side. See, life has a funny way of testing you. Just when you think you're about to make it, just when you feel like you're finally catching a break, something comes along to knock you down. And in that moment, you got 2 choices. You either let it stop you, or you use it as fuel to push even harder. But here's the problem. Most people quit too soon. They start out with a dream full of energy, ready to take on the world. Then they hit a setback, and another one, and another one. And at some point, they start thinking, maybe this ain't for me. They start doubting themselves. They start listening to the people who said it wouldn't work. And before you know it, they let go of what could have been the biggest blessing of their life. But let me ask you, what if they had held on just a little longer? What if the opportunity they had been waiting for was just one more step away? That's what I need you to understand. Quitting too soon means you never get to see what was waiting for you on the other side. You ever seen that picture of the 2 miners digging for diamonds? One of them is walking away, giving up, because he thinks there's nothing left. But if you look at the picture, you can see that if he had just swung that pickaxe one more time, he would have hit the diamonds. That's how life works. You don't know how close you are. You don't see the finish line when you're in the middle of the storm. But that don't mean it ain't there. See, your mind will try to play tricks on you. It'll tell you that because it's taking longer than you thought, it must not be meant for you. That's a lie. The best things in life take time. The biggest blessings require patience. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not on the way. Think about all the people who almost gave up but didn't. Tyler Perry was homeless for years before he got his break. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company before coming back and making it bigger than ever. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. You think they weren't frustrated? You think they didn't have moments where they wanted to walk away? But they didn't. And because they didn't, they won. That's why you can't stop now. I don't care how many times you fail. I don't care how many doors have closed on you. If you quit, you guarantee that you'll never make it. But if you keep going, you give yourself a chance. And sometimes all you need is one more try, one more push, one more step. See, the thing about life is it doesn't give warnings. It don't tell you, hey, your breakthrough is coming tomorrow, just hang in there. Nah. It tests you to see if you'll keep believing even when you don't see results. And the ones who do, they're the ones who make it. They're the ones who get to look back and say, man, I'm glad I didn't quit. So let me ask you, are you really going to walk away now? After all the work you put in, after all the sacrifices you made, after all the nights you spent praying, planning, and pushing, don't you owe it to yourself to see what happens if you don't give up? Because if you just keep going, you're going to win. You ever notice how when you're struggling, when you're at your lowest, that little voice in your head gets louder? The one that tells you, maybe this ain't for me. The one that whispers, maybe I should just stop. That voice will make you believe that what you're going through right now is the end of your story. But let me tell you something. That voice is lying to you. See, the enemy's biggest trick is to make you believe that your current struggle is permanent. That just because you're struggling today, you'll be struggling forever. But that's not true. Hard times are temporary, but quitting lasts forever. What you're going through right now, it's just a season, and seasons change. You ever seen a tree in the winter? The leaves are gone, the branches are bare. It looks like it's dead, but give it time. Give it a little sunshine, a little rain, a little patience, and what happens? It blooms again. That's how life works. Just because you're in a rough season right now don't mean it's over. You're just in a season of growth. But see, when you're in the middle of the storm, when the pressure is on, it's easy to start believing that it's always going to be this way. It's easy to let frustration convince you to stop. And that's exactly what the enemy wants, because if he can make you quit now, he can stop you from reaching everything that was meant for you. You think successful people didn't hear that same voice? You think they didn't have moments where they felt stuck, lost, broken? Of course they did. But they didn't let those thoughts control them. They didn't let temporary struggles define them. They pushed through, and because they did, they made it. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't see a way out. That's because you're looking at it from the middle of the storm. You ever been caught in heavy rain? You can barely see 2 feet in front of you. But that don't mean the road disappears. It's still there. You just got to keep walking, keep moving forward. Because if you stop in the middle of the storm, you stay in the storm. But if you keep going, eventually you walk right out of it. See, your mind is powerful. What you believe determines how far you go. And if you let struggle convince you that you can't win, that you're not good enough, that this is the end, then you've already lost. But if you shift your mindset, if you start believing that this moment is just part of your journey and not the end of your story, then you'll find the strength to keep going. You ever notice how pressure makes people either break or rise? Some people go through tough times and never recover. They let one setback take them out. But then there are the ones who rise, the ones who take the pain, the disappointment, the failure, and use it as fuel to go even harder. That's the difference between the people who make it and the people who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's their ability to keep going even when everything is telling them to stop. And let me tell you something, you have that same strength inside you. You wouldn't have made it this far if you didn't. Think about everything you've already survived. Think about the times when you thought you weren't going to make it, but you did. That same strength, that same resilience is still in you. So don't let this moment fool you. Don't let this struggle convince you that this is the end, because it's not. You're still here. You're still fighting. And as long as you refuse to give up, there's nothing that can stop you, because if you just keep going, you're going to win. You ever notice how people love to talk when you're struggling? When things ain't going right, everybody got something to say. They look at you and say, maybe this isn't for you. They shake their heads and say, I told you it wasn't going to work. And if you listen to them long enough, you'll start believing it yourself. But let me tell you something. You can't let other people's doubts become your reality. Just because they don't see the vision don't mean it ain't real. Just because they don't believe in you don't mean you're not meant for greatness. See, most people can't understand dreams that are bigger than their own. They can't see past their own fears, their own failures, their own limitations. And if you let them, they'll project all of that onto you. That's why you got to learn to block out the noise. Everybody got an opinion, but opinions don't pay bills. Opinions don't build dreams. Opinions don't put in the work. And the truth is, most of the people doubting you, they never had the courage to go after their own dreams. They let fear stop them, so now they try to stop you. But listen, this is your life, not theirs. Your journey, not theirs. And you're the only one who gets to decide how far you go. Now, I'm not saying it won't hurt. It's tough when the people closest to you don't believe in you. It's tough when the ones you thought would support you are the same ones tearing you down. But that's part of the process. Because when you're trying to do something big, something different, you got to understand everybody ain't going to clap for you. That's why you have to be your own biggest supporter. You got to believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. You got to clap for yourself when nobody's clapping. You got to encourage yourself when you feel like giving up. Because at the end of the day, it's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. See, people will always have something to say. When you're struggling, they'll say, told you so. And when you finally make it, they'll say, must be nice. Either way, they're going to talk. So why waste your energy worrying about them? Use that energy to keep pushing forward. You ever hear stories about people who got counted out? Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. They told Oprah she wasn't fit for TV. Walt Disney was fired because they said he lacked imagination. Imagine if they had listened. Imagine if they had let other people's doubt stop them. The world would have never seen their greatness. Now, I'm telling you this because somebody out there is doubting you right now. Somebody is watching, waiting for you to fail. But that ain't none of your business. Your business is to keep going. Your business is to show up every day and put in the work. Your business is to prove to yourself that you are built for this. And let me tell you, the moment you start winning, the same people who doubted you will act like they always believed in you. That's how it works. Success changes the conversation, but you got to get there first. So stop letting doubt, yours or anybody else's, slow you down. Stop explaining yourself to people who ain't even trying to understand. Stop waiting for approval because you don't need it. Your dream was given to you, not them. And as long as you keep going, as long as you keep believing, as long as you refuse to quit, you gonna win. Listen, life is gonna test you. It's gonna push you, break you down, and make you question everything. But the ones who make it, they ain't the smartest, they ain't the luckiest. They're the ones who refuse to quit. 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 They're the ones who will keep going when it don't make sense, when it's hard, when everybody else has counted them out. And that's got to be you. Because everything you've been through, it wasn't to stop you, it was to prepare you. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment of doubt was just part of the process. But the process ain't permanent. The struggle ain't forever. You're closer than you think. So don't stop now. Don't give in to fear. Don't let other people's doubts become your reality, because if you just keep pushing, keep believing, keep fighting, your breakthrough is coming. I believe in you. I know you got what it takes. And when you finally make it, and you will make it, you'll look back at these hard times and realize they weren't breaking you, they were building you. Good luck on your journey. Stay strong, keep going, and most of all, never, ever give up. Thank you.